Look at you all bundled up.
It's a little cold, yep.
It's 29 degrees.
You know, I'm more of a Caribbean kind of girl.
Yeah.
We are in Terre Haute, Indiana. We're on September the 5th, 1998. 19-year-old Erika Case, who was house sitting at the time, invited 2 boys over for a swim party. The next morning, Erika's sister discovered her dead.
She had 33 cuts to her body, absolutely brutal.
Who would hate her that much to want to kill her in such a horrible way?
The good thing about this case is that we only have 2 suspects, the 2 boys that she partied with that night. But the bad thing is that they both tell 2 different stories.
If they're both lying about different things, we have to try and figure out what it is.
Exactly.
This is a really hard case because both suspects admit to being there all night long. So their DNA being all over the crime scene makes total sense, and it's not going to help us identify the killer.
It's sad is what it is, over a night of fun, and then look what can happen.
So I tell my kids all the time, one bad friend, one bad night, one bad decision changes your whole life. Now look where we are.
It has been 16 years and still no answer.
Police consider her killing a cold case.
Years later, the case is still unsolved.
There are so many cold cases out there just waiting to be solved.
The crime scene ultimately tells the story of the murder.
We want to bring justice to these victims.
Morning.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Derek Fell. Nice to meet you. John Motes.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I'd heard about the Erika Case homicide I was working the road at that time as a road patrol officer. They worked constantly on this and just never could get it to add up.
You know, I was telling Yolanda, it was so sad reading all those notes of y'all's where you said, jury case came in today and we drank coffee and talked about it.
He would come in every Friday after work and just sit down. Jury Case is Erika's father, and every Friday he would show up after he got off work at 3:30, and would just come in and sit in and talk. Have a seat. What's up?
I'm going to touch base with you.
Absolutely. So every time you read the case file, you want the help and hope he's going to be able to maybe have some closure.
So let's hope at the end of this you can give him some good news.
It's been a long time coming.
Do y'all have a place set up for us to work in?
Yeah, we've got a room downstairs. Let's go. Okay.
They didn't call them cold cases back when I was in the homicide. They were just unsolved.
Johnny Bonds is coming this week, and for the first time, we're bringing Detective Steve Spingola. He's retired from the Milwaukee Police Department.
We had Dahmer, which, you know, most of the nation knows about. We've had
He actually worked the Dahmer case, the Jeffrey Dahmer case. And, I mean, we have a lot of similar experiences, and he's great. I mean, the guy knows his stuff.
Steve Spingola, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
John
you.
Motes.
John, nice meeting you.
Meet you, sir.
Every day a case goes unsolved, there's a greater percentage that it'll never be charged or solved. If we can't put a case together right now, the chances of them doing that in the future are extremely slim.
John can just start from the beginning.
Back when this occurred, Erika was 19. She had been house sitting with her sister. Mary works in Indianapolis. She's a nurse. Erika is working herself at a local mall, comes home later that night with 2 guys. Her very good friend, Isaiah Dooley, and Clint Mackey, who was an acquaintance of Erika Case. They have a small party, swim, and we get a call the next morning at 9 a.m. from Mary when she comes home from work, finding her sister, Erika, dead. So basically, we get on the scene, we find the body. She is in the living room, laying flat on her back, fully clothed still in a bathing suit. Multiple stab wounds, 33 stab wounds, eventually dying from a cut to the throat. Bled out, basically. The knife that we believe that was there is gone.
There was a 5-piece block set of knives, and we have all but one of those knives.
And this missing knife is confirmed by the people that own the house saying we got a knife missing. Both Clint and Isaiah were brought in immediately that morning for questioning.
State your name, full name, if you will, please. Clint Mackey. On the night in question, did you have occasion to meet up with Erika Case? Yes, sir. Who was with you? Isaiah Dooley. Let's start how long you and Erika's actually been friends.
Since I was a sophomore in high school. Probably talked to her almost every day and probably seen her at least 2 to 3 days out of a week.
We was gonna go out and swim and drink and, you know, just goof off and have a good time. Okay.
He kept saying, man, I'm horny. It was just that he kept repeating himself. That's what made me feel weird, you know?
Okay, he kept wanting to have sex with Erika.
Yes.
Who do y'all want to put up first for a suspect?
Clint
Mackey.
Mackey.
Clint.
Well, his own admission, he attempted to have sex with the victim and she rejected him.
Do we put up here they're smoking dope?
They're doing LSD.
Yeah, the acid part is probably more important.
If he's a violent person, LSD may have made him more violent.
He had some trouble when he was younger. He did have a charge of rape against his own aunt.
He's never been found guilty by a jury.
Right, it was a plea bargain. He was also charged with a sexual misconduct with a minor.
It's statutory rape.
Right,
Yeah.
they both said it was consensual.
That was a jury trial?
Yeah, not guilty. Well, he had a really good lawyer.
Even though Clint has a history of crimes against women, they both involve sex, and we know by the medical examiner's report that Erika was not sexually assaulted. So Clint's MO isn't a perfect match to our crime scene.
Y'all ready to put Isaiah Dooley up on the board?
He admits being at the crime scene the night of the murder.
Fails polygraph.
Was it inconclusive or fail?
Said inconclusive. Just shows deception.
Wasn't it around the drug questions, wasn't it?
Yes, and it was about the drug questions.
So initially when Isaiah took that polygraph, he failed it with the concern to drugs. So that can be explained in a couple of ways, but it clearly throws his credibility into doubt.
So it seems like one of our biggest discrepancies or confusing issues is we have Isaiah Dooley over here who says that night they both go into the house together and see Erika. When they leave, she doesn't feel well, but she's not injured. And then we have, on the other hand, Clint Mackey who says, hey, the last one that went into the house that night was Isaiah, and Isaiah went back in alone. And he was in there for an unusually long amount of time, and I never went back in the house, so Isaiah was the last one to see her alive. So obviously one of these guys is lying about who's the last one to see her in the house. Hopefully we can figure out who that is when y'all talk to him this week. Today we're going to meet Erika's older sister, Erika Case. Mary is the one who found her sister. Her mom passed away a week before we got here. So all that is on Mary's shoulders right now, and she's still agreeing to talk to us.
My sister, she was full of life, and she had a big heart, and would be willing to help anyone.
Mary is a nurse, so you know what kind of trauma she sees every day, but I can't imagine what she went through walking in and finding her sister like that.
I noticed the sliding glass door was open. As I walked further into the house, I found her laying on her back, covered up. I thought maybe a dog bit her face because she had some marks on her face. When I touched her, she was ice cold. And I called 911, and then I went to the kitchen. I noticed there was a knife that I had washed that was gone. I got really scared, and I found the phone, and there was a bottle of vodka sitting on the coffee table, so I grabbed it because I didn't know if someone was still in the house because the door was still open.
Seemed like you stayed pretty calm. Were you feeling calm?
No.
We'll never know what you've been through, but we understand how frustrating it's been. And I hope that we can give you some good news sometime soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Come here, give me a hug.
Erika was house sitting the night of the murder. In order to get a clearer picture of what happened that night, we're going to go back to the crime scene. The owners of the home at the time that Erika was murdered still own the home today and have given us access to go look. Well, the layout looks pretty much just like it did in the pictures. You've got these poles, the staircase all still the same. So obviously by the statements from Clint and Isaiah, they came over, they were swimming in the pool, partying between here and the deck. From our timeline of what we know, at around 1-ish, she was laying on the floor, curled up in her blanket. Appears that she just wants to go to sleep and just basically wants this party to be over.
She said, I'm not going to puke, you guys. I'm just cold, and covered up and laid down.
This is the time that Isaiah and Clint leave to go get Clint's car because they only have Erika's car at the house.
And up until that point, the stories were about the same. It's when they get back that the stories kind of diverge as to who went inside and what happened.
Isaiah claims that when they returned from retrieving Clint's car, they both went inside the house, dropped off Erika's keys, and left. And at that point, according to Isaiah, Erika was very much alive. But Clint claims that he waited outside in the car while Isaiah went inside, and he was in there for a suspicious amount of time.
The next day, Mary comes in and finds her sister cut 33 times. Erika's wounds have some very unique features that may be able to tell the story of how her murder occurred. Isaiah says when he left that she was laying on her stomach with the blanket.
Maybe that's why we had that one in her back, the first one. Like here, just slightly over to the right.
And then she rolls.
She rolls over.
So the fight starts here.
Yes. She's got both arms going, trying to block him. Now, at this point, one of the carotid arteries gets cut.
So she's up when he gets her here and it's spurting.
We've got the spraying of the blood here and the spraying of the blood here, and almost like this void area right here.
When a crime scene is particularly bloody, the absence of blood is the easiest way to determine if something or someone was moved. You look for the void, which is caused by something intercepting the blood's trajectory. In this case, that void was created by our suspect, who I believe was kneeling beside Erika as he was killing her.
Which means your suspect has the spraying of the blood on them, and they're blocking this little small portion of area.
Clint and Isaiah's clothes were collected the morning after the murder, and neither had any blood. But by then, several hours have passed. Either one of them had plenty of time to get rid of their clothes and possibly the knife.
Okay.
I have a better idea of how Erika's murder might have happened, but I think there was more to the story right outside the front door.
We're investigating the crime scene of the 1998 murder of Erika Case. According to our suspects, Clint Mackey and Isaiah Dooley, they left Erika at home alive at 3 in the morning, and then Clint drove Isaiah home before driving himself home.
First, y'all tell me what the car thing is. Where you think it happened?
Years ago, when the investigators were looking at the driveway, they found what could be a great piece of evidence.
Behind Erika's car, there is little pieces of a broken lens. And we know that Clint's car happens to have a front turn signal lens right here that is broken on his car.
Clint says that Isaiah was with him.
Right. But Isaiah knows nothing about the broken lens.
According to Isaiah, he was with Clint all night and the turn signal was never broken.
So you're saying that he's in such a hurry to leave that he just wheels around real quick, breaks the lens on his car and takes off that way?
Sure, absolutely.
Once again, we have two very different versions of what happened that night. If there was ever any thought that both of these boys could have been involved in this together, you would think they would have gotten their story straight.
Well, I'm sure you know, Clint and Isaiah were both there at the house that night, right?
Yeah.
Terre Haute is a very small town, and when Erika was murdered, it was really big news. The whole town was talking about it.
We're just trying to go through the case and talk to every single person that was involved in this case.
And everybody in this town knew that Clint and Isaiah were right in the middle of this.
He said Isaiah would have been the one to have done it.
You know, Isaiah kind of puts it on Clint.
No way he could have done that. No way.
I think he was hiding something.
He swears on his life that he didn't do it.
Just like our suspects, this first round of witnesses we're talking to don't help us get a really clear picture of what happened that night.
And so that's where our problem is. Somebody's not telling us everything.
So I'm thinking we need to stop talking to people close to Clint and Isaiah and start focusing on people close to Erika and her world.
I read a lot of murder reports, and I've never seen one where a dad came in and visited as regularly and as routinely as you did.
I was here every week.
We're excited to meet Jury Case and get to hear his thoughts about what happened that night, especially since Erika and Isaiah were such good friends.
Was there ever a time where you talked to Isaiah about everything? Tell us about that.
I just, I asked him, if he knew what happened. He goes, I don't know, Jerry. He said, all I know is that, Clint left and Clint dropped me off. Clint goes, oh, I forgot the beard. I said, I'll go back with him. No, that's okay, I'll get it.
Clint's going to go back to the house by himself, then?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Wait, okay. This might be important. What you just told us is something brand new, and out of the mouth of Isaiah Dooley, Clint's admitting that he's going to go back to the house for a bullshit reason, to be honest with you.
I thought other people knew about that, too.
No.
This is great because think about it. If Clint went back to the house, we've now caught him in a lie. It also explains why Isaiah never knew anything about the accident, because he was at home the whole time.
Based on talking to Isaiah, from what you saw and how he acted, do you think he's involved?
I don't know. I don't trust anybody.
Isaiah told Erika's dad things he never told the police. We need to find out what else Isaiah knows and why he's never mentioned any of it to anyone else.
So what are we going to do on Isaiah?
Gotta go get him?
Let's go get it.
Rock and roll. See if he'll give it up.
Well, I think he's obviously going to know something more than what he did when he gave the original statement, so hopefully he'll agree to come with us down to the sheriff's office.
15 years of keeping this bottled up and see if he breaks.
I'm John Motes
Isaiah?
with Sheriff.
How you doing?
I need your help.
Okay.
I've reopened the Erika Case file.
Okay.
I need to ask you some questions and just pick your brain a little bit. Would you have some time?
Not right now, I don't.
I'm not going to take much of your time today.
Right.
I mean, if you could give me a few minutes.
Not telling you I won't,
Okay.
but not today.
Okay. Both Steve and I cringe because here's a very crucial witness that we have right here in front of us that's not wanting to come and play tonight. He's not going to come in. You push too hard, he's going to pull away, and he can completely shut down. You just never know.
How'd it go?
I don't think Isaiah's going to want to come tomorrow.
I'm just racking my brain on this. Erika is such a great friend of his, and I don't understand it. This is his opportunity. You try to put yourself in the person's shoes you're talking to, and if it doesn't make sense to you, then there's something just not right with it.
And you're right. Until we get Isaiah in here to fill in these holes, we're not going to exactly know which direction to go into here. I think he's the key right now.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi.
Dawn Bright was really good friends with Isaiah and Erika. Isaiah won't talk to us, but maybe he's talked to her.
We were all really good friends.
Really?
We were hanging out about every night.
When you talked to Isaiah about it, I mean, I'm sure you asked him about that night. What did he tell you?
That they went home.
That who went home?
That him and Clint went home.
Okay. Did he say anything else about Clint?
No, I mean, except for the anger.
What do you mean?
I remember something about him trying to put the moves on Erika.
Him who?
Clint.
Okay.
And Erika saying no. No.
And then what happened?
He got angry and left, and Clint took Isaiah home.
Clint got angry?
I think so.
Why would Isaiah not want to talk to us, to law enforcement, 15 years later? What's he worried about?
I don't know. I think he felt like everybody looked at him like, you know.
Well, shouldn't he want to help to clear his name
You would
and
think.
get the person responsible?
You know, I tell him in a scary movie, you know, it's always the person you don't expect. You know, and I would tell Isaiah that, you know, you would be the one in the movie that would have done it. You'd be the one that nobody expects.
While we wait for Isaiah Dooley to come in and talk to us, we're going to focus on our other suspect, Clint Mackey. The first thing we need to do is look at the prior allegations of abuse committed by Clint Mackey, and we're going to do that to see if there are any specifics that are like our case or any other things that go towards an MO similar to what happened to Erika.
Johnny Bonds, just have a seat over there.
We're starting with a woman named Jennifer Calber. Police records show that she placed a restraining order against Clint a long time ago, and we want to hear what she has to say about that.
What's your history with him?
We dated.
Did you ever have a problem? Did he get upset if you ever told him no?
Yes. Very badly.
I like that.
I like it.
Was it scary?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would probably 2 or 3 times he'd slam me against the wall, and he got a look in his eye. It was almost his eyes turned black if you would tell him no. I mean, it was almost evil.
Clint Mackey was tried for the sexual assault of his Aunt Jenny Lee in 1998, and it ended in a plea bargain. That's the same year Erika was killed. Jenny Lee is a sexual assault victim, and Erika Case was a murder victim, and you would think that they weren't related, but the reason she's important is because she can talk about how fast he can flip the switch, his temper.
Mood swings, and he doesn't like rejection.
She lived at the same address as Amanda Michaels, her
That's
sister.
what it came up as. I'm with the sheriff's office. What's your name?
I'm Amanda.
You remember what happened to Jenny with Clint?
Yeah, way back then.
Yeah, way back. Oh, I know. A lot of years have went past.
She came in, she had a handprint around her throat.
Wow, you actually saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else?
And Jenny said she was raped. I did tell her to go to the police.
You sure did. And you knew who raped her.
Yeah, because she was Clinton. But after that, it was like she didn't care about life.
Is that part of the reason why she moved away?
I think so.
According to Jenny, Clint was high and drunk when he went from talking to her normally to beating her and screaming at her in the blink of an eye. The other victim of Clint Mackey that we know about is Tiffany Miller, who was 15 at the time he forced her, talked her into having sex.
Right.
So we're going to go try and see now.
kind of nervous to talk to Tiffany because Tiffany was a victim. You're not Tiffany, are you?
Yes, I am.
All those things that you see on TV where rape victims are treated ugly and nasty in a courtroom, that's what happened to Tiffany. Fortunately for us, both Tiffany and her mom are very eager to talk to us about what happened to Tiffany.
I was 10 days before my 16th.
Got it, okay.
That day, we went upstairs and he started kissing me, and I'm like, I thought we were just talking. And I remember it hurting, and I remember pulling his shoulder blades apart, and he just kind of looked at me. It wasn't like, I don't know what kind of look it was, but he just kind of looked at me. He would have overpowered me. There's no, at that point in time, I never even kissed a boy before.
Before him?
Yeah, and his lawyer made me look like a 15-year sophisticated whore.
It's really sad to hear what happened to Tiffany, and it's even more sad and disgusting to hear that Clint Mackey got away with it. Did you ever bring up Erika Case to Clint at all?
We never seen him after.
Oh, no.
But knowing what happened to me and knowing that that could have been me, he's gotten away with something that he should have been in trouble for.
Clint's sexual misconduct case against Tiffany Miller ended with a not guilty verdict, and his sexual assault case against Jenny ended in a plea bargain. To be real frank about it, Clint Mackey had a really good lawyer. And from all that we've been told in both cases, it was Clint's grandfather who footed the bill.
Robert Mackey.
It would be nice to hear from him how he can explain his grandson's actions. Good morning.
Mr. Mackey?
Yeah?
Good morning. My name's John Mosen with the Sheriff's Office. How are you?
Yeah?
Well, we reopened the Erika Case file, and we got two guys kind of pointing their fingers at one another, and we're digging into it again. So I don't know if you've heard from Clint lately or know where he's at. Or...
Yeah, I know where he's at. I heard from him.
Yeah, I'm sorry you
But
have.
I really don't want to hear from you folks.
We just want to know all that we can to try and figure out what happened, Mr. Mackey. A girl
I
is
don't really
dead.
think that they ever originally wanted to know what happened, and I don't think you want to know now.
Well, we do, and
Go away.
we weren't involved in this before.
Go away.
How long are you going to protect his sorry ass?
Protect shit. Get off my front.
Good morning, ladies. Just got off the phone with Rob. He said Terry's available. Said he could meet with us right now.
Terry, the DA, wants to meet with us right now.
I thought that wasn't happening till like tomorrow.
He's got a hearing tomorrow. Says if we've got the time now to bring it over.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Bring over whatever we have.
It's never good to rush your probable cause, but if you have an opportunity to talk to your DA, you need to take it. With all the past evidence that's been gathered, plus all the things we've learned about Clint's violent tendencies toward women, the car accident discrepancies, and the fact that there's no evidence to support the idea that both of these men committed the crime, hopefully the DA will believe that we have enough to proceed against Clint. Is everybody good with what we have now, going to him now?
Before we talk to Isaiah?
I don't think we have a choice. I mean, otherwise we're going to miss him.
It bothers all of us that we haven't been able to speak with Isaiah yet, because if he could confirm the fact that Clint was planning on going back, that would make this case very strong. Well, y'all go talk to Isaiah now, and if something happens, Derek text John in the middle of the meeting, and we can update him as John is running it down to him.
Sounds good.
Let's drive by Isaiah's house. My worst fear would be if he lawyered up.
I worked at the DA's office for over 21 years and was always on the other side of the desk, so I know how important it is to be able to present your case with all the questions that you can possibly answer being answered. Very nice to meet you. I have to say it's way more stressful sitting on this side of the desk.
Still trying to get Isaiah Dooley, who was the second young man up there. Right now, we have a team going to meet him when he gets off work, and hopefully he'll come in.
You know, this may be him right here.
Yep.
There it is. It's him. Kiss my feet.
Right. Have a good one.
What's up, Isaiah?
How are you? Man, I'm telling you, it's vitally important that we just get some things cleared up for us to go forward.
What are your thoughts on where we stand now?
I'd like to have some more evidence if we can come up with it.
Erika was your friend, right?
My best friend.
Yeah. I mean, you got to step up to the plate here once.
Are you going to let us know after you try to talk to Isaiah today to see if that adds anything to this?
Yes.
Anything else y'all can think of?
Hell, we could walk into the courthouse up there to Terry's office.
Let me drop you off?
Sure.
Derek walks in, and I'm thinking, please tell us you have Isaiah.
As we're driving by, he's pulling up, and he said that he retained an attorney.
I'm thinking, well, that's it. There's no way his lawyer's going to let us talk to him.
You want me to call and see if we can set something
Yeah, I
up?
think it'd be great. I mean,
That'd be great.
The DA knows Isaiah's lawyer. Man, you got to love small towns.
You're going to be representing an Isaiah Dooley. We're obviously wanting to get information from him, get his statement about what he knows. We could discuss, you know, some kind of immunity letter or something tomorrow. Is that something you could do?
This is a smart move on the part of the DA. He's going to offer immunity to Isaiah Dooley, which means that unless Isaiah was involved in committing the murder, he can talk about all of it. And the hope is that tomorrow, when he's granted that immunity in the presence of his lawyer, he'll tell all the details about what really happened that night. Here they come. Prosecutor's coming with them.
how long were you and Clint kind of friends or kind of?
Just as, I would say maybe a month.
So not very long?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. When you guys pulled into the Burrises, there was no cars bumped each other, no cars hit each other?
I was never with him if he got into an accident.
Okay.
I
And
can say that.
did he ever make any mention of that to you? And you're sure of that?
Positively sure.
He's saying there was no accident with that car when I was with it.
Okay, that's good.
Do you remember telling Mr. Erika Case that at some point Clint told you he went back to get the beer?
No, I don't.
Shit. When you left the Burrises for the final time that night, do you remember if you went by yourself or if you left Clint behind and came back or what the deal was?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know for sure.
Do you remember about what time that was? No.
No.
Come on. Did you leave at any other time?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
He's hedging.
I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to remember. I don't.
You know, I've seen this enough times to know what's happening. A defense lawyer could very well give advice along the lines of, if you don't remember, you just don't remember. You're never going to get in trouble for not remembering.
I'm puzzled here. Yesterday you told me that Erika was your best friend.
Yes.
Would she be in here doing what you're doing to us right now with this, I don't remember, I'm not sure? How often does your best friend get killed?
There you go.
We didn't just...
I understand that, sir. Let me just ask this question.
No, let me lay some ground rules. You'll treat with respect.
I am.
No, you're not.
I am. Your relationship now with Clint Mackey is what?
None.
None. And let me ask you something. When we talk to Clint, who do you think he's going to say did this? He is going to blame you. Ask your lawyers right now. It's time to cowboy up here, pal. This is the time to clear yourself. That's why we're here.
I'm telling you.
I mean, this is the night a woman was killed. You're the last...
And I was not there.
He's not going to speculate anymore. If you want to ask him about something he saw or observed, but he's not going to speculate anymore.
Oh, his attorney's pulling it. I can't believe he couldn't remember a damn thing.
He's got that selective memory loss.
Yep. The only thing that I really liked that he said was the light.
That's all we need right there for that piece.
That's all we got.
That's all we got, but it's there.
Except for the fact that we still have that blinker light. The whole interview of Isaiah was pretty much a bust. We're going to need something more to make this case stronger, and to be real honest, we don't have a whole lot of people left to talk to.
Something comes up, you hear something, call in here.
At this point, we are down to our last few witnesses.
That's it for now?
Yeah.
We are not getting anywhere.
Well, if you hear anything else, please, you got my number.
It's not there.
That was a complete bomb.
Come on back here. So when your encounter occurred with Clint Mackey, where were you at?
Client came over one evening and said, I need somebody to talk to. Will you take a drive with me? And he took me, out in the country, and I can remember, we parked in between, two cornfields, and then he just started crying really hard, and I was like, what's going on? And then he asked me if I had heard about the Erika Case situation. He talked about how him and some guy named Isaiah, and that she was house sitting, and that they were on drugs.
Did you specifically say what drugs, or?
He said they were tripping.
Okay.
And that he had asked her out, and she told him no one laughed at him, and he got angry.
Uh-oh. Angry because she said no.
And he went on to describe about how when he came to, he realized he had blood on his hands.
This is new.
What else does he say about that?
That he had bloody clothes in the back of his closet.
Okay.
At that point, I started to get scared. Because that's when he told me that if I ever said anything, he'd hurt me.
Clint told her, I will hurt you. And for that reason, she's not told anyone for 15 years
until today. You're like, oh my God.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Mackey could have done this?
I think he did do it.
You think he did do it?
I do.
We're headed to Iowa to see if we can find Clint Mackey and get him to confess.
Now that we're armed with this brand new statement from Penny, it's time to see what Clint Mackey has to say.
I'm pretty sure that he's not going to be that surprised when he show up.
He's probably lived in fear for the last 15 years that someday somebody's going to come knocking on his door like this.
You know, let's just go ahead and roll up if he's there.
How you doing, Clint? I'm a detective with the Vigo County Sheriff's Office.
Uh-huh.
Want to see if we could take a few minutes of your time and
Are you kidding me? No. I don't trust none of you guys.
Clint, do you want to help us clear this murder case?
I don't have nothing to do with this.
We're clearing everybody involved in it. Here we are talking to you, giving you the opportunity to clear yourself.
We're getting further than I thought we would.
You brought the cops around here. You ran my name again down through the mud because this is a little town.
Clint, calm down.
I got kids that go to school here. They know everybody. This is bull.
Son, you're the last person to see her alive.
I was not the last person to see her alive. Isaiah went in there and dropped off her keys, and we left. I was not the last person to see her alive. I sat out there in my car. He went in there, and I thought maybe he was pinching from her bag of weed.
And there's something mentioned about acid. Y'all got a hit of acid?
I didn't get a hit of acid. I didn't see anybody take any acid.
Okay. Okay.
Clint said there was no acid. Initially, in 1998, he said there was. So, again, his credibility is questioned.
We went out there, we partied, had a good time, went and got her car, brought it back, went home.
There was contact between your car and hers. You've got a broken front left lens. You remember?
I don't know. I don't remember hitting that car. You know, I don't remember. That's not something that I remember. I was pretty up, you know.
So now Clint says that he doesn't remember the car accident, and clearly there's physical evidence of that there. So now he's 0 for 2. His credibility is really damaged.
When you brought her car back, how long did he stay inside?
He was in there a few minutes.
This could be important here. When he came back out, did you see blood on him?
No, I didn't see no blood. He didn't have no blood on him.
Did he have a knife on him?
No.
So we're asking him, did he come out with blood all over him? Did he come out with a knife in his hand? No, he was fine. He was normal. He's actually put Isaiah in a better position. When they talked to you 15 years ago, you said you hit on Erika, felt her breast, and
in the pool, yeah.
Yeah,
in the pool. We agreed we was gonna have sex.
Oh, really?
Then she got sick. Yeah. Then she got sick.
Okay.
She threw up.
What did you think when you weren't gonna have sex? I mean, I know how that can be when somebody says.
I wasn't worried about it. I had a girlfriend.
Do you know a girl named Penny? Remember a girl named Penny? You went over to her house and talked to her at some point? Penny?
No, we weren't that close.
She said you guys went for a ride and you talked about this and you started to cry?
Man, I don't remember.
Do you ever remember telling her that you woke up and you had blood on your hands?
No, I never told her that I had blood on my hands. No, I'm done. I'm done.
Can I show you this real quick? Did you ever see Erika like this?
No.
She was stabbed 33 times, throat cut.
How terrible is that? You know what I mean? We want to find closure to this. I'm trying to gauge his reaction, and his eyes water up. As I'm talking to him, I'm thinking I'm looking directly in the eyes of a killer.
Are you sorry?
For what?
For this.
I didn't do this.
Even if you didn't do it.
I didn't do this.
What happened?
I didn't have nothing to do with it. And you're not gonna push me into. I didn't do that. I partied that night. We left. I didn't do that.
Thanks for talking.
Okay, thank you.
After talking to Clint Mackey, it's pretty clear that his version of the story has changed since talking to the police back in 1998. Now Clint is denying the fact that he ever dropped acid that night, and now he's denying that any traffic accident ever happened. But the most crucial thing he says is that Isaiah came out of the house spotless.
No, I didn't see no blood. He didn't have no blood on him.
Because when you look at the crime scene, you know it's going to be impossible for somebody to kill Erika like that and walk away clean.
Which means your suspect has the spring of the blood on them.
And we know that Isaiah didn't have a car, so there's no way he could have returned to the scene alone. He had to have come out at this time when Clint saw him, and he came out clean, so how could he be the killer?
I feel that Isaiah is not responsible for this homicide.
Okay.
I agree. I don't believe he's responsible.
He's not the guy that did the murder.
None of our evidence ever suggested that Isaiah could have been Erika's killer, and with this statement from Clint Mackey, Isaiah's in the clear.
Mackey's got a whole entire criminal history. I mean, he's clearly the guy that did this.
All the things he's thought about over the years that could have got him in trouble, and those are the things he's changing.
He has had 15 years to think about it.
I think we're ready.
All right, let's go take everything.
We now have a fantastic circumstantial evidence case to present to the DA. Because we know about the details of Clint's sexual assault of his aunt and the sexual misconduct of Tiffany, this pattern shows us the way he becomes violent toward women when he's rejected.
Probably 2 or 3 times had slammed me against the wall.
That, along with the fact that Isaiah says he wasn't there when the light got broken that night.
I was never with him if he got into an accident.
Clint's inconsistencies in his own statements.
Y'all got a hit of acid?
I didn't get hit of acid.
And what Penny Garriott told us about the incredible admission by Clint that he was there that night.
Like, he realized he had blood on his hand.
We believe that we finally have enough evidence to convince the DA to take this case to a grand jury to seek an indictment for murder against Clint Mackey for what happened to Erika Case. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Thank y'all for being so patient.
Thank you for helping us.
Oh, you're very welcome. You should know that everywhere we went, people said wonderful things about Erika. We found out some new information, and we all feel confident Isaiah Dooley was not involved. The bottom line is that your district attorney and his first assistant have decided to take the case and present it to a grand jury to ask to indict Clint Mackey for Erika's murder.
This is great news. This is the best news we've gotten in 15 years.
I just wish my wife could have met you.
Yeah.
I know, we wish that too.
Give me a hug. You're a wonderful man.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
You hang in there, it's gonna work.
I think that my sister would be happy that we didn't give up. I feel really good, and I'm very hopeful that we can honor my sister by gaining justice for her.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. It's just hard. I think my kids are stronger than I am. It's hard to move on when you lose somebody, and then you lose somebody else. And I think they're both looking down and smiling and want me to be positive in what's going on, and I'm going to try to.
On January 21st, 2014, Clint Mackey walked into the Benton County Sheriff's Department in Iowa and said he had information in Erika Case's murder. He was taken into custody. Captain Motes and Detective Fell arrived soon after that to hear what he had to say.
This is something that shouldn't happen. Something did happen. And her family needs closure, and so does mine.
How many times do you think you've done LSD?
One time.
Just that night?
One time, yeah. So went in town, we got her car so that she has a way to get home. Came back, sat out there and I waited on Isaiah. He came out to the car. I dropped Isaiah off. I went and I got a pack of cigarettes, got some gasoline. I don't know. I don't understand what the hell. I don't know what happened.
Clint, let me ask you.
I honestly don't. But
for some reason, you went back in your car?
I went back in there, guys.
Your car?
I went in my car. I went in there. I walked in that house. I grabbed the knife. And I walked right over and I killed her. And I didn't talk to her. I didn't ask any questions. I killed her.
I want to believe that Clint Mackey came forward because it's been 16 years, and I want to believe that he's really doing this because the guilt has overwhelmed him, and he does truly feel sorry for what he did. And I hope that Jury Case and his children can finally start to have some peace and get on with the rest of their lives.